space from one point or distance to another. The cosmic cultural spirituality of time, the divine mathematics of time, the sacred science of time. Star Time on Crumb TV Live, Facebook, and YouTube.
Hete Pu, Dua, Duawu, Nazarek Ramech, E.M. Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families, to my Nagas, my Shimsa Harus, my Nesubitis, my Mutnatarts, and to everyone joining us today through Crumb TV, Branch of Knowledge, the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty, Joy Allen, and AstMaatTfNut, the immortal ones of Maat, cherished. Phenomenon of precession, new age order, great golden age of Maat Hapi Asar. And to all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley, cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. O AstMaatTfNut Pa Nebu, mother of the AstMaatTfNut, mistress of Pet, maker of mankind, she who is mighty in Usur Medu Nefer, divine words of power, mother of all initiations. Bless us humble servants for Ankh life, now present. For we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Maatian ways and Maatian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 30th day of the year after the Helical rising, 330 Haru days remaining until Helical rising, Ubin Soptit, Cyrus rising. Upuwat Smai Taiwi, Wep Rinpet, Digit Heb, New Year's celebration, 4th Haru day of Seb, 30th Haru day, first month of Jehuti, 30th Haru day, first Abet month, first season, Shamu, 1/30/10. AFNK/FST, after founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Smai Tawi, Renpet year number 10. Phenomenon of precession, new age order, great golden age of Maat Hapi Asar. Fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline, Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, UTC, Universal Time Coordinated, 8/23/20. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of AstMaatTfNut Pa Nebu. For in the art of seeking you there is much comfort. So as it is written, so let it be spoken, so shall it be, so let it be done. For now and forever forward, Ra Neber Teshurah, rising always in divine excellence with Maat, all day, every day, Dua, Duawu, Duawu. And again, we are humble. We are grateful that you all are here today to join us. Right now, I'm going to bring in the co-host, my Ptah Secret Asar, and I did not come in without him. So at this time, I'm going to ask my Seba to introduce himself, tell everyone who you are, find you, and your Hesi as well.
Dua, Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut. Panatapu Pamad, Uncle Jet, Uncle Johnson, Ubenafikir, Panabuhu, Maati, to you, my Ramech. Anuk Ptah Secret Asar. My name is Ptah Secret Asar. I am the Royal Scribe, Master Craftsman, and Keeper of Time, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment, and the Nagaship Associations. And you can find me on Facebook at PTAH Asar, ASAR, Ptah Asar on Facebook, and of course on Instagram, the same name. I smile because Facebook is taking my name away so many times. I don't know I hear about Facebook anymore. But and even today, I cannot even share anything today. I violated all their community standards that I post cosmic time. All I do is post cosmic time to wake you up. And I have become public enemy number one. Not only to the Facebook and Twitter and social media community, but to the African American community. I've been exiled from the Khemetic community for speaking of 9 days in a week. And that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss the math, the sacred math, the divine science, and the cosmic cultural collective conscious spirituality of our ancient African, ancient Khamerian ancestral ancestors. So before we go into today's topic discussions and elaborate and others facilitate you upon your path to immortality, I must perform my rites of passage. There are rules of engagement. Not anyone, you just cannot come on and talk to our people and to create more UNP or UNPP, unnecessary pain and punishment, voluntary pain and punishment, fabricated pain and punishment. It's like you wake up to pain and punishment. So let's find out why we're having pain and punishment. Why are we conditioned to have this pain and punishment? And why does it seem so normal to wake up and have this pain and punishment? And you think it's just the way it's supposed to be. This is not the way it's supposed to be, especially now. So in order for me to have to engage with you in a dialogue, I must perform my sacred rites of passage, my libations, my hesi, my saku, my affirmation, in respects to our ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors. I must address the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection. Yes?
There's some disturbance in your audio. It's interrupted audio.
How is it now, Queen Mother Goddess?
It's better now.
How is it now? Is it better? Testing,
yes,
testing.
It's better.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Testing, testing.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is it still low? Is it high?
It was just interrupted. Right now it's fine. It's perfect.
Right now it's fine. It's perfect. Okay, well that's great.
Yes.
That's why I didn't do that from the
good.
beginning. Okay, that's great.
Yes.
So now I shall perform the first frequency specifically around the potential so that I may gravitate you to your present moment in time and space. You have to frequentize yourself. Our ancestors left us these hefties, these sacred doctrines of immortality, these divine words of power. And we must connect ourselves to the cosmic environment. And how do we do this? Is by acknowledging where the star substance is at the same time that we perform our testing. This way we're combining divine mathematics, sacred science, and our cultural cosmic collective spirituality, which many people know as religion, but we don't have a religion. African people do not have a religion. We have a spirituality. And the spirituality is revealed to you within the cosmic forces. So we're going to tap into these cosmic forces so that you would know why these people cannot engage with me with the information I'm about to reveal to you, which is your information. We're not charging you anything for this information. Of course, you can donate to the Queen Mother's AstMaatTfNut platform. But let me begin by saying, greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first family. My Nagas, my Shemsurus, my Nesbitis, my Hemets, my Sba-t, the immortal ones of Maat, cherished phenomenon of precession, new age order, great golden age of Maat of Asar, and all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. Oh, Panebu, the mother of the Netheru, the mistress of the pet, the maker of mankind, she who is mighty and Usa Meduna Hekau, divine words of power, mother of all initiations, bless us humble servants for life being now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Maatian ways and ancient Maatian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 30th day of the year after the Helical Rising, 330 days remaining until Ubin Sabtit Cyrus Rising, Upawat, Samatawi, New Year's celebration. The 30th day of the first month of Jehuti, the 4th day of Seb, the 30th day of the first month of the first season of Shemu, year number 10, AFNK/ST, after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi, phenomenal recession, New Age, Order, the Great Golden Age, and Maat Asar. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of AstMaatTfNut, for in the art of seeking you there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written, so let it be done, so shall it be. From now and forever forward. Ra never Teshua, Panata, Apapama Uncle Jet, Uncle Jasaneb, Uben Napikir, Panabu, Haru, Ma'ati. Rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at. Every day, all day. Dua, dua, dua. So what we just did, we just frequentized you mathematically and with your
Huh?
color. Yes, Queen, can you hear me?
Yes, there is a static in your line, a slight disturbance. Um, it's only when you speak. It
Oh,
maybe, huh?
how's that? I took my charger off. How's that? There's nothing else connected to my computer.
Okay, yeah, that's better. That's well right there. Okay, so go ahead and continue, please.
Okay, so what we're going to do today's topic of discussion will be the precious treasure, immortality. The precious treasure is the Ipiteru Shabit Mtwaru Pamaat, which we know as a calendar, which we call the ancient Rasaurian solar lunar calendar and the Neteru logical star timeline. So we're going to learn to applicate our story. So we all know about history. We all know about this scholarship that's so corrupted that you, at the end of the day, you don't even know who you are. At the end of the day, you got PhDs and you got all these acronyms behind you, and you're just about you don't even have a brain. The worst thing in the world is an African or a melanated person with a European mindset. So you have to stop. You have to be able to understand our story, and our story is right before your eyes. All you need is an eye to see, an ear to hear, and an understanding heart. So we're going to connect to these cosmic forces. And the first part of the show, we're going to segment. We're going to break it down into segmentations. And the first part of the show, we're going to break down the how, what, why, the how, what, when, and why they stole our time, and why it is that we wake up thinking that we're slaves, thinking that that this is normal for you to wake up and think that you're a slave. And this we're going to discuss with the title of Injured Humanity. And I'm gonna let the Queen Mother Goddess come back to the table to the Queen Mother Goddess AstMaatTfNut, so that she may facilitate these proceedings.
Dua Useba. Right now, I am acknowledging our humble brother Crumb. We are streaming live on some of his platforms this evening. We are streaming live on his, I think it's Periscope. I think Instagram. I think it's Instagram. Either way, definitely we are on his YouTube channel, Branch of Knowledge. We are on my YouTube channel, The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. We are also on my Facebook page, just for strictly for this series, and it is the AstMaatTfNut page. And we are also streaming live to my Facebook channel, Joy Allen. And again, Now, because this series is new and we recently set it up, I do have a YouTube channel that is called AstMaatTfNut Rasaurian Calendar, and it will also have strictly the classes that teach you and guide you in the use of your calendar. So look for the videos there in the future, not today. And with that being said, our brother Crumb, you can subscribe to his YouTube channel at Crumb TV. He has different content. You follow Brother Crumb, you already know what I'm saying without it being said in words. You can also follow our brother Crumb on Instagram at Crumb TV _. And of course, you can follow him on Facebook, aka what he calls Racebook. And right now, Crumb TV, he is on a 30-day hold. So that's why we're not streaming to his Facebook pages right now. And to support his channel and all that he does, he has new projects going on all of the time. And as we continue to build, we all will, as I am having this new series here. So you can support Brother Crumb's platform through his Cash App at @Crumb TV. And of course, continue to comment, like, and share the videos. We appreciate that as well. So again, today we are starting, and this is segment 1 of the Precious Treasure Immortality series. And we will be only speaking about this calendar and how to use it. There's legend in here. It's color coordinated. There are days of the month. They are not Monday, Sunday through Saturday. And we're going to talk to you about those today. The months are not January through December. We're going to talk to you about those as well. And we're also going to speak about the Gregorian calendar, the calendar reforms, and lots of other things during this series. So continue to tune in, be prepared to gather this knowledge, remember who you are, and amongst some other things. Let's see. Okay, Seba's still there. And so there are also links in the description.
Are we okay, Queen Mother? Your time still going on?
Like, okay. So I'm not sure what happened there. So I'm gonna run back to it went out. Because it appeared on our side it did, but I think in what I saw it. Anyway, what I'm saying is, let's go back here. So for those of you who do not have a calendar, I said you may want to get one, and then I think the stream stopped, and then I was saying you definitely want to get you one. Definitely want to get you one, and then you can follow along with us, go along with us, and have the details for yourself and study the use of your calendar. So the details to purchase your calendar is in the description as well. And I want to also, on behalf of my humble brother Crumb, say hola, namaste, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, hotep, konnichiwa, rahubet, and as he says, I am speaking, if I could, in your respective language, I would do so at this time. So we also have the master students here. We would like to acknowledge, we have Leslie from YouTube. She says school is in session. We have Rael Sankofa, who speaks Shalom from Facebook. And Frank White, 32nd, speaks peace from YouTube. We have Mo Sunshine 114, who speaks Ashe. And Seba, can you say her name for me, please?
That's AstMaatTfNut.
AstMaatTfNut. Okay.
The Queen Mother Goddess, Nunet,
Yes.
Aminet.
And this is my first time saying it properly. I did not want to mess that up again. This is the first time you've been here to speak it for me. So dua Seba, dua u. And she
what
says,
she says underneath.
Pa Maati Ankh Ujab Seneb Hotel.
Yes. Dua Panatapu Pamano was the Jet Uncle Johnson and Uben the Fikir Panabuharu. My to you, my great queen mother goddess, AstMaatTfNut. Aminet.
And so at this time, I know we have some visuals of the calendar prepared for you as we start our study of the calendar. Seba, would you speak to everyone right quick, because this image was up while the introduction song was playing. Time from
Yes.
Kim West. So we played Time from Kim West for the introduction. Could you speak to everyone about this
you
image
did?
that they were viewing during the introduction before we both came on? And then we'll proceed with
Yes.
the calendar.
Yes. The introduction theme for Ken West is predicated upon the Zep-Tepi, the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe, as it was known by ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors. And in this sacred doctrine, our ancestors speak in mute testimony written in the Mesonet, the pyramid text, Mastaba text, the pyramid text, the coffin text, um, um, the Shabaka stone, the Kemenu, all the cosmologies to all the great divine ages speak of Nebuchadnezzar. So what you see there is a depiction of Nebuchadnezzar, which is the oldest known name referred to the title of the creator of all existence. And Nebuchadnezzar was androgynous, meaning Nebuchadnezzar in our cultural spirituality had the embodiment of the feminine and the masculine energy principles of the cosmos embodied within him, her. So what you're looking at is a picture of the four attributes of manifestation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar. And that's why you see so many legs and so many arms, is because they are attributes which were contributed to him in order for him, I say him, I mean him, her, in order to come into being. This is called the concept of self-creation. And that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss immortality. In order to receive immortality, you have to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. And this is all we're doing, and all we will be doing, and you will be doing, is reproducing a process of development in which the creator, him herself, did at the beginning of existence and came into being. This is what we're discussing today, being. And for you to experience the phenomenon of being, and in order to do that, there are four criteria or four things that you have to do. First, you must release yourself. Then you must seek out
Seek out
yourself.
yourself.
Overcome the sensation of weightlessness. Embrace Maat within yourself. Then you will desire to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. This is the star gospel. This is the cosmic thought. This is the cosmic revelation. This is the new age order of the great golden age of Maat Hapi Asar. So what you have to understand is they have an old, very, very old saying in our cultural spirituality that when the golden lotus opens, you do not want to miss it. It's very simple. And right now, we are existing at the time of the golden lotus. And the golden lotus, some say, is the dragon gate or the lion's gate. They have many terms and many interpretations, but we're going to break this down scientifically, which is sacred science. It's not just science, because science known today is religion. And that's here to imprison your mind, the mental, physical, spiritual subject is slavery. We're going to discuss our ancestral doctrines of immortality through the sacred science, the divine mathematics, And our cultural cosmic collective conscious spirituality, which gives you have the sacred science, the divine math, and then you elevate it to this pinnacle of our cultural cosmic collective conscious spirituality, which becomes metaphysics. This is what metaphysics is all about. So metaphysics, somebody speaking metaphysics to you, are not discussing sacred science and divine math in your cultural cosmic collective consciousness spirituality with astrology and astronomy to give you absolute accountability and star validation. This is what we're going to discuss here today. So this is not no spookism. Our spirituality is not spookism. Why do we have to always be, we talk about our spirituality as spookism, but we speak about what they enforced upon us, that God that they enforced upon us and through religion. That's not spookism. You can't even see this God. They taught you to worship God you can't even see. That's spookism. That's the biggest spookism I've ever seen or heard. But yet our Neptunes are always around you. Our gods and goddesses, our cosmic forces that allow us love guys to take into the deal experience upon, no matter what we will discuss upon as cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. We'll never use the word religion because then we Hellenize ourselves. What we're going to learn to do today as we discuss the count. Yes.
Yes, there is still static in your line.
Okay, let me try turning my phone off. It must be the phone because there's nothing else mechanical or electronical in this room. And it might be this new computer I just bought. Just came in.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because it comes and goes. It comes and goes.
It's the computer then. So I should transfer this my location to the phone. We'll see if it doesn't work itself out. Then on your next you begin to rotate. We will.
Okay. Right now you're fine.
Over to the phone.
It's like every time I stop you, you're okay.
Right now. Okay.
But once you get started, they act like they scared. They don't want us to hear what you gotta say.
They're scrambling me. You know they're scrambling me. The last thing they want our family to know is how to tell cosmic time. This is what we're going to discuss today. We're going to just present to you the mathematics, the sacred math, the divine science, and the cosmic collective conscious spirituality. And let's place it in the scale. And let's see if it balances to Maat. Because I know everybody on this planet, that because the armies of today are afraid of an idea whose time has come. And this idea is called the cosmic thought. It's called the cosmic revelation. It's the new age or the star gospel of the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar, which the Queen Mother was just showing you the schematic or the picture of. And as we begin to understand how was it that nobody has any recollection of who or what this picture represents. All the people in the Khemetic community won't even speak about Rado Teshera, which is very puzzling to me. They will tell you it's 9 days in a week, which is very puzzling to me. I mean, not puzzling, but we're going to lay the cards out on the table. They seem to think that you can't count to 1 to 30. Because if you could count to 1 to 30, that would mean that you would know that any calendar that has 30 days in a month is a lunar cycle calendar, which is an agricultural calendar, a seasonal calendar. It's used to feed you. The Gregorian calendar has 7 days in a week. That is a lunar cycle calendar. The Muslim calendar has 30 days in a month. I'm sorry, 30 days in a month is the Gregorian calendar. And the Muslim calendar, the Chinese calendar, the Ethiopian calendar, the calendar in West Africa is 30 days a month. Today, the one that is today, the predominant calendar today, not in the old, not in the antiquity, I'm talking today. It's 30 days in a month all over the world. All calendars have 30 days in a month. That means it's a lunar cycle calendar because we know mathematically that it takes the moon 29 and a half days to wax and wane. So if it's 29 and a half days, it's a lunar cycle calendar. You write that down, take out your pen. I really don't want to keep repeating this. This is the information because I'm not here to babysit you. I'm not here to entertain you. And I'm sure not here to take your temperature. I'm here to to return and reveal to you your divine birthright of immortality. All you have to do is applicate the mathematics that they're giving you, corrupted mathematics. So if it's 30 days in a month, that means it's a 7-day calendar, an 8-day calendar, or a 10-day calendar. Any calendar that has 10 days in a week is a lunar cycle calendar. The Kemetic calendar has 10 days in a week. It has 3 weeks in a month. That means 3 times 10 is 30. Now, I'm not saying the Kemetic calendar is wrong. I'm just saying how come they don't expose you to the complete version of our calendar, which is there is a solar, sidereal, and a lunar cycle calendar. It has 36 days in a month. There's 36 deacons in the sky. 36 is the mathematical equation. 9 is the mathematical equation. The mother mathematical equation is 9. So for 9 days in a week, we get 4 weeks in a month, and we have 36 days in a month. 4 weeks times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. 3 6 is 9. Then we have 10 months in a year. So at this point, we know that this is a solar, sidereal, lunar cycle calendar. Why do not the Kemetic people speak of the solar sidereal aspect? Why do they want? Because this is how they control us. This is how it doesn't matter who it is. There's only 2 types of people on this planet. You're either a Shemsu Heru or you're a Shemsu Set. It's very simple. There are no Negroes. There are no black people. There are no African Americans. They just label you and label you and label you. It's all about confusing you. You have to know that you're either from the loins of Heru or from the loins of Uncle Set. So
Sba,
to prove this, yes.
There's still static in the line and
Okay.
interruption.
Okay. That's bad. That's very bad. Very bad, Queen.
At times, not all the time. It's just
yes, but that's very, very bad. Yes. So what we're going to do, we're going to reveal to you the mathematical equation for layman's terms. On simple layman terms, this is the month of Jehuti, the first month. And in the first month is when the star Sba-t rises. Okay? And on the 10-month Kemetic calendar, which has 165, it has 365 days in a year. It has three seasons. Each season has 4 months. Each month has 30 days. 4 times 3 is 120, 120, 120. Comes out to 360 days. Then they add another month through the Greek interpretations of Eratosthenes and Aristarchus. They add a 13th month that only has 5 days. It's called an intercalendary month. Okay? To compensate or to account for this extra 5 days. So this is what they couldn't understand. The Greeks couldn't understand. The Persians couldn't understand. All those foreigners that came into Kemet couldn't understand how it is that we was able to devise a calendar that was accurate throughout all times. And how we did it was we included our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality because there is no sacred science without divine math. There is no divine math without the sacred science. And there is neither of them without our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. Can we hear me? Can we hear me clearly now, Queen Mother Goddess?
Yes, Sba.
Okay.
And so the month that we have shown here that you speak about is according to the Ancient Khemetic Rasaurian Calendar. It would be the first month. This is Jehuti, the first month.
Right.
And that's what you'll see.
Underneath the picture.
So, in this month, you'll see it starts in July. And it starts July 25th and goes through August, some part of August. And it starts in July 25th, the first day of this year, of the year. And Sba, could you speak to everyone? So when they get their calendar, they'll know why the first month is Jehuti, which according to the Gregorian calendar is July, part of July and part of August, and why the first day of the calendar is July 25th. I'm trying to get this in this camera for y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me good here now, Queen Mother?
Yes, Seba.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're calibrating ourselves from the Gregorian calendar, the fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline. Interrupted our Neteru star timeline during in the historical documents during 754 BCE, which they implemented their attack upon us is called AUC. So first of all, if you don't know something about AUC, which is acronym, which means Ab Urbe Cortita. Ab is AB, Urbe is URBE, and Cortita is CORDITA. So if you put an Ab Urbe Cortita into your research as a scholar, I mean, I'm not a scholar, but I have scholarship. But under what other pretenses you're going to do it under, place the word AUC 754, no, 754 AUC, first calendar reform. And this will lead you, this will open the door, because they're going to think that you're a theologian. They're going to think that you're an ecclesiastic person or a true scholar. And they know this information is delivered to them to make sure that they can keep you as a mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slave. So you continue to wake up thinking that you're a slave. If you don't know anything about anything, you have to learn about first calendar reform, because this is how they stole our time. They stole your birthday from you. They stole your sign from you. They stole everything. You don't even know that they stole it. And they think that this is the normal. But because of this COVID pathogen that they dropped on us, that everything's been shut down and all belief systems are now being questioned, it's a beautiful time for you. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the thunder. And so we're going to discuss the calendar's date is July 25th. You just showed the great Queen Mother just showed you the first month of the Ibetaru Shabit Temtuaru Maat is the month of Jehuti. Like I said, today was, like she said in her seat, and I said in my seat, today is the 30th day of the first month of Jehuti. It's the fourth day of Seba. It's the 30th day of the first month of the first season of Shemut. It's a mathematical equation. It's an alignment. It aligns you with the stars, with our Earth, the star substance, and Ra. Then with the moon, it triangulates back to Orion. Orion hits onto the Pleiades, and then it permeates through our quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy on the arm of Orion's finger back to the Earth, and it synchronizes us. It tethers us to the cosmic frequency. It's a frequency. This mathematical equation is a frequency in itself, but it's only one-dimensional, which is still in itself divine. Now you add in the sacred science. You would know. So on the sacred math on July 25th on the Gregorian calendar is the equivalent to day 1, year number 10, or even if we just entered this great year of this new age order, we're 10 years into it now. But let's say that we into the first year. It would be year 1, day 1 of year 1 of month 1 in the season 1, which is Shavuot. So we're going to calibrate the angels of time and place us right back into our cosmic position, because the world, this whole world, is supposed to be under our protection right now. We are the guardians of this planet. We've always been the Nagas, the Shamsalus, the Nesubitis, the Hemet, the Sivasibas, the Natas, the Nagajunas, the Matrias, the Moans, the Nets. They're all names in etymology, which means the divine ones. And this is who we are. We are those who bring forth immortality and the doctrines of immortality. But in order for you to understand this concept, you first have to understand a simple thing of time. Time is related to the sun. We're children of the sun. We're sunbeams. And the sun produces light. And time is the movement of the light from one point of distance to another. So you don't understand time, you can't understand the sun. Its properties. It's how its properties, the photosynthesis of the sun and the growth patterns of all the cycles of the earth is all based upon the light. And the light is defined and understood through the concept of time. In understanding time, we understand that there's three motions of time, three motions of the earth, and there's three dimensions of time. But right now we're going to discuss how this is the first day of the first month of the first season of Shemu, and it's the fourth day of Jehut of Seb, and the 30th day of the first month of Jehuti. So on the first day of Jehuti, on July 25th, which is equivalent to the Gregorian calendar of July 25th, you want to show that schematic again in the first month? Can you show us the first month and the first day where the star rises so that they can look on their calendar and be able to equate what I'm saying to the family, to the Ramech? And so on this day, the star Sba-t is called the Helical rising. The Helical rising means that the star Sba-t and our star Ra, because Ra is a star, these two stars rise over the horizon on Nilotic meridian. Please write that down. The Nilotic meridian. It runs from the Mediterranean to the Delta, right down to Giza to the Merkul, the Great Pyramid. It runs down the T in Ethiopia, right down the Playa. Oh, it runs through the Sudan. On the east part of the Sudan, it runs through Medawe, Napata, Kerma, Meri, and then down to the Playa, straight down the Nilotic meridian to South Africa. It's the 30th parallel. And on this parallel, there are multitudes of ancient megalithic architectural monuments that are orientated to the constellation of Orion and the Pleiades in the south, to Sirius in the southeast with Orion and Pleiades, to the sun on the spring equinox, and to the circumpolar stars in the north. The Great Pyramid of Palmyra, or Egypt, or Giza, where Giza is in Egypt, has two star shafts. They have two, they say air shafts, they're star shafts. And these star shafts are orientated to the north. The northern star shaft points to the circumpolar stars of Devon, Draco, Vega, and Polaris. And the southern star shaft is directed to Sirius, Orion, constellation of Orion, and the Pleiades. And of course, so when the star shaft in the south lines up with the constellation of Pleiades and Orion, and with the star Sba-t, this indicates that our Earth has made one complete revolution of the sun. This is the mathematics and the science you would have to know to show that this isn't spookism. Our ancestors had this. This was a precise thought of understanding how to. There we go. There to regulate ourselves through these cosmic cycles. So on this cycle here, this is the tilting of the Earth from vertical north, which makes the Earth, and it's tilted 23. It makes the Earth tilt, and the tilting is 23.5 degrees. And this tilting makes the Earth wobble, and one wobble is 26,000 years. That one circle of motion you see takes 26,000 years, and that's called the phenomenon of precession. You would know it in school as the precession of equinox. So they teach you this in school, but this is all, as far as they teach you, is the first motion of the Earth, and it rotates on its axis 24 hours and 35 minutes. Now they tell you it rotates 24 hours every day. They don't tell you that it really originally rotated 24 hours and 35 minutes. And the second movement is the Earth revolves around the sun, which is 360 days originally, but today it's under 365 days, only because there's 24 hours in every day. Thank you, Queen Mother Goddess. Yes. And so now the third motion is called the phenomenal succession, in which it takes the sun to move through each sign of the zodiac. It takes 26,000 years. So the first motion is called, the first dimension of time is daily time. The second dimension of time is yearly time. And the third dimension of time is great year time, meaning it takes the 26,000 years to move through each and every sign of the zodiac. So a common year, so now you have to look at this esoterically and exoterically. This is when you begin to look to receive the profound knowledge of the cosmos. This is where you begin to learn or earn your cosmic awareness, your spiritual consciousness, and your universal enlightenment. This is a frequency. So they told that you're on a Gregorian time, then you have not a clue to how you're supposed to be operating upon this terrestrial plane, on what frequency. So here is to help you remember your frequencies. And this means take down the Gregorian calendar from your wall. If you look on your wall today, if you look over to wherever you're at, you know you got that Gregorian calendar on your wall. You know you got that cotton picking slave mentality, Gregorian front and Gregorian calendar on your wall. And if you don't believe that one, look on your wrist. Look on your wrist right now, most of you. I'm not saying all of you. Most of you that are watching your arm and have not a clue that watch is orientated and connecting you to Greenwich Mean Time and Universal Time Coordinated. It's slave time. That's only slave people with slave mentality wear watch. You're programmed to Greenwich, England, which is Stonehenge. Everybody understand that? Greenwich, England is Stonehenge. And Stonehenge is 52 parallels north of the equator. They have told us through school and scholarship that this is the center of the earth, Stonehenge. When they already know, everybody knows 30 longitude, 30 latitude, the center of the earth. Only applicates itself twice. Once is in the Atlantic Ocean, the other time is on top of the Giza Plateau. So our ancestors knew the center of the world land mass was over the Giza Plateau, which is where the Merkurs or the pyramids are, the Great Pyramids. On this ley line, on which emanates these polaric forces. So, I get that back. I like to keep you thinking as we're going. I like to bounce. I always like to talk with the science, the math, the cultural, cosmic, conscious spirituality, because eventually we're going to get into the conversation within further on into the series. We're just going to be cosmic. Because I need my African, my Tamarian people to be able to think cosmic at all times, because that'll be your natural state. Your natural state. You don't have common sense. You have cosmic sense. They got common sense. They have common sense. They have common sense is logic. They say the Greeks are fond of logic. You know, you don't want to think logical. You want to think cosmical. Okay, you want to think in the cosmos, because that's you in your natural state. But it's a frequency. So on this first part of the calendar, we were showing you as July 25th is the red pet, the day of the red pet, which we call the Helical rising, and the star and the sun rise together. And on this day, the red pet is the New Year's. Now, how does it appear in Africa or in Tamari? We know that the snow caps of Mount Kilimanjaro begin to melt, and when they begin to melt, the water from the mountain comes down the mountain of Kilimanjaro, and it floods up onto the White Nile and the Blue Nile. And the White Nile, the Blue Nile turns into the Nile. It runs up to Ethiopia and Sudan, right all up to the Mediterranean, up to the Delta, and it deposits itself in the Mediterranean. So at the time these waters melt, and these snow caps melt, and the water, and the Nile begins to inundate its banks, is the first season of our Epiteru, or our calendar, our solar superlunar calendar, and it's called Shemu. Now, some of the Khemetic people say, oh, if you look in E.A. Wallace Bulge, if you look in any of the Egyptian books through all the white scholars, they're going to tell you that Akhet is the first season of our calendar. And Akhet has the round land mass with these flowers coming out of it, these lilies and lotuses. And it has a circle with lines going through it for the CH. And of course, the half circle for the T, which they say in God the science is a half loaf. Of course, it's not a half loaf. So, when you learn your Medunetta, you want to learn God the sign list. You want to learn E.A. Wallace Bulge, Birches, Bremstead, Petrie, Reisner, and of course the Champollion. And you'll learn the unilateral, bilateral, trilateral. You'll learn your determinative. You'll learn your alphabetical and your phonetical. And which is good to learn. I learned from God the sign list when I was, 18 something, maybe 50 years ago. 50 years ago, I studied the same thing you're going to study today. But today, I do not follow God in the sign list. The man is a madman. I'm not following E.A. Wallace Bulge. He's a madman. He's a racist. He's not going to tell you what it really means. It's like the word, it's like the word Seb, the earth. Gardner calls him with a G, Geb. So does E.A. Wallace Bulge, the late keeper of antiquities of the British Museum. He uses G for Seb. The Germans use K. They call him Keb. In Primordial Medunetta, in your sacred Sanskrit, it says Seb. And we know that Seb is the proper pronunciation because we spell it backwards, and we know backwards Seb means Beth, and Beth means fire. So if Earth is Seb, it means solid, and Beth spelled backwards is fire, and we know that within the center of the Earth is a multi-core fire. There's a sun inside the Earth. So we know generically that this must be the proper pronunciation. But yet they're going to teach you in school to call the Earth Geb, or to call them Keb. So it's cymatic resonance. It sounds. There's waves. There's a clacking in this pronunciation that has to be applicated. And within this clacking and this proper pronunciation of the Usa Medu Nefer Hekau, the divine words of power, you're commanding these cosmic forces. So when you see a G or K, it's called the Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of Indian humanity. They corrupted, they fragmented, they plagiarized, and they regurgitated everything we did back to us in an unholy manner and called it his story, or his story, or history, or his story, which is really our story. So I'm just breaking it down this way to you so as we go along, you're able to digest this better than what you might have digested with anyone else. So at this point, when the snow caps melt, the Nile begins to inundate. And when it inundates, it's the first season. The first season is Shemu. We know it's Shemu. It can't be Akhet. How can it be Akhet? And Akhet is the season of growth. It's the season of planting the seed. You plant the seed. So in the season of Shemu, there's 120 days. You get 60 days, the Nile inundates. It banks. It's called the inundation. And then for 60 days, the Nile recedes back to its normal level. And it leaves a black soot upon the soil for the next season to plant. So we know that Shemu has to be the first month. It cannot be Akhet. There's no way you can convince any Shemsuru that Akhet is the first month when we know it's the second month. And we know the third month is Pert, because Pert has the house with the T and the mouth, and with the T and two legs, meaning movement, meaning the process of coming forth or the harvest. For you to go forth and to harvest the food, to collect the food. So we know Pert is the third month, but there are records in the 6th dynasty of ancient Egyptian Necherus, male Necherus, who are sitting on these divine seats, and under the first Necheru, it says Akhet. And under the next Necheru, it says Perth, and the third one is Shemu, or maybe Shemu, and then, but whatever, I get it first. So what does that tell you? As you begin to apply things in a generic manner, because it has to apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, then it's not worth a conversation. It's the same thing that they're doing today. They did this hundreds of thousands of years ago. This is how they control us. Except at that time, who was ruling in Kemet was the Shemsu-Set. That's why there's only two classes of people. You're either Shemsu-Ru or Shemsu-Set. I'd like to get this across to you now, because once we start to go into a cosmic story, you're going to have to understand this, understand your position, your sacred position in the whole scheme of things. So that your children become part of the Shemsu-Ru, because these are the times of the Shemsu-Ru. Shemsu-Rus are the chosen ones of Maat. But what about when it's time for the Shemsu-Set to rule? Are they not the children of Maat? We're all Nagas. We're all melanated people at the beginning. It's just as above, so below. As we move to the 26,000-year cycle and move into each and every great golden age, the powers of above rule the powers of below, because there's above, so below. So you have to get to applicate these things to have reason to rationalize things cognitively, but cognitive consciousness. You got to be able to say why and be able to explain this to yourself. You don't need me. I'm only here to help you remember. You already know everything I just told you, everything about the cosmos. You already know this. You got a bad case of memory loss. They're already deleting your files. Matter of fact, you're deleting your own files by eating that food. But let us continue as we go through these seasons. Go ahead, Queen Mother. Would you like to interject or like to facilitate?
Yes, Sba. Dua. I have posted notes along the way, and if anyone has any questions specifically, post those in the comment section, and they will be answered. So I know we are speaking about a few things through this series. So for one, we'll be speaking about the calendar is color coded. So before we speak about the colors, though, when they get their calendar, again, there's 9 days. So of course there definitely is no Sunday through Saturday. And what I'm sharing are some of the obstacles, barriers I faced when I first got my calendar, and being brand new, coming back into the knowledge, remembering I did not know what was going on here. So what I want to share with everyone is right above each day. So when you get your calendar, right above each day, you'll see Ra, and I put each day there. So day 2, you have Jehuti. And then day 3, you have Seb. So as you go along, each one corresponds with the space below it. Okay. Right. So moving forward, now that you get what I'm saying, day 4 would be Ast.
Day 5.
Go ahead, Sba.
Would not be Amsta. Amsta is the 18th dynasty interpretation of the firstborn of the child of Heru. They call the Shemsu-Ru. Heru has 4 children. The first child is called Mesta, MS-TA. I always use the term Mesta, even though you'll see Amset. But Amset was because when the Shemsu-Sets took over and they ruled in that great age, they made the first child of Heru Amset. Because Set is in the back of his name, so we know Set got something to do with it. Okay, but we know that Mesta, Mes means born, Ta means the earth. That is the 5th day. His name was Mesta, and Mesta means born of the earth. The next day, number 6, is Hapi. Is the life source water of the Nile. And number 7 day is Tuamutef, or some say Duamutef, or Tuamutef. Both mean star. The adoration or the greatness of the star. Mut means mother, and F is a term for masculinity. And so or in etymology you would use the word he or him. And so he was the star of his mother. His name was Tuamutef. He was the star of his mother. It's Medunetta. The Medunetta speaks for itself. It doesn't change. It's Medunetta. Medu means word. Necha means they say it means the gods and goddesses of the life force energy, but it means the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, and protection to the daily experiences of Pandal Master. So these are nature. Everything in the Medunetta is written in what you see around you, the same way it was 10 million years ago is the same way it is now. The only thing that changes is the powers to be, the powers in control.
Yes.
So
And day 8.
day number 8 is Quebsinuf. Quebsinuf. Queb means purification, to purify. Queb is the vases with the water coming out of the vase, with the foot behind it, with the Q, with the right angle square, and that's Q with the B, the foot. So he's Queb, and then the water that shows you the water base. That is the determinative. So you have unilateral, bilateral, trilateral, and you have your determinatives, which describes that which you're looking at. And of course, you're looking at it alphabetically and phonetically. So Queb
And
means purification. Queb Sen means brothers, and F again, the horn viper is masculine, meaning him or he. So he is the purification of his brothers. And of course, day number 9 is Haru, who is father of the 4 children, who is the son of Ast and Asar, which they're not under the calendar. I mean, Ast is on the calendar, but Asar is not. So, these are the original names of the days of the week. Now, you know them as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So now, let's see how. So here's them are the original days of the week. How do we know that them are the original days of the week? Let me help you remember. So in the tomb of Senumet, who is the chief mortuary architecture of Heshesep, Queen Heshesep, the queen sister of Jehutimes, as you know, Thutmose, and so he has on his burial chamber tomb room, you'll see this calendar of Senumet has the hippopotamus goddess in the middle and a big spike going up into the sky, and which is the frequency of the Telluric forces that's permeating from the earth. He's showing you she's showing you this, but let's just break down the Medunetta behind Apet or Tawawert. Some call her Tawawert, the hippopotamus goddess with the breast. That's our 7th month, which represents the circumpolar stars or the never setting stars. And so behind Tawawert, there are 9 deities with solar disc on their head. And I seen Ast, and I seen Master Happy Tone different questions up as I have them there. And then there was some miscellaneous gods and goddesses that didn't make no sense to the story of self-creation. This is how I know it didn't. But I knew that much that Settlement had restored that which the ancient knowledge had knew. He preserved 5 of the names. So I took them 5 from the first 5 niches in the tomb of Settlement, and then I applicated it to ponderable matter, because if it doesn't relate scientifically and mathematically, when I put the concept of spirituality, then we're just Greeks and Romans. That has no meaning to us, then no spiritual meaning, then has no essence. What is the purpose of anything? So we looked back, so I said, boom. So the first day of the week is supposed to be Sunday. That means the first day of the week is the day of Ra. So now I place myself in position of Ra. I look at things in the eyes of our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors. We look up in the sky and see Ra. Ra is that solar furnace in the sky that supplies us with heat and growth and life. So as we move from Ra and get closer to Earth, there's the moon. So the moon has to be the second day, just like it is today on the Gregorian calendar. Second day of the week is Monday. Monday means the day of the moon. In Spanish, it means lunes. Luna, lunes. It means moon. Because all we know is Latin and Greek. In etymology, in our linguists, and all etymology that we know today is derived is derivative from Latin and Greek. Scholarship comes from the Greeks and the Romans, Latin and Greek. Okay, so let's try to break it down. What they stole from us through their made up etymology, because they have no Sanskrit. Latin is no Sanskrit, nor does Greek. They stole things. They're thieves. That's all they do. They take yours and they corrupt it, plagiarize it, and regurgitate it back to you in an unholy manner and call it this story. That's why it's called the Hellenistic Rasaurian Calendar. So anyway, so now we got from the sun, then we come to the moon, and the moon becomes the day of Jehuti. So Jehuti is the second day. The first day is the day of Ra. The second day is the day of Jehuti. So we came from the sun, we came to the moon, and now the next stop off is the earth, because the sun, the moon, and the next can't go. We gotta come to the earth. So we're on the earth now. So the earth is called Seb. Remember, it's not Geb. It's not Keb. It's called Seb. We know it's Seb because Seb means solid. And if you spell it backwards, it means best. And best is a ball of fire inside the earth. Right? So we know that's the correct way of pronunciation. So Seb is the third day of the week. And so now we get on Seb. Now you're on Seb, standing on Seb the way you are today. Now you can visualize it now. Because now you're on Seb, so you look to the left, just look to the left and look to the right. And you can see what I'm saying. What are you going to see? You're going to see nature. You're going to see the natures. You're going to see Mother Nature or Mother Nature. So the fifth day became Ast. Now we're on Seb. We know how to communicate with natures or Mother Nature. And now we have to orientate ourselves to the celestial alignment. So we establish cardinal points. These cardinal points are north, south, east, and west. These cardinal points become the four pillars of Pet, the four children of Heru, the four seasons, the four elements. So we have Happy Tronetep, we have Mr. Happy Tronetep Clemsonov. So it's very simple. And the last day is Heru. That's how I named the 5 to 9 days a week. So it says before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days in every week, and time was kept by charting stars that were visible on our calendar. Aware of the movement of the earth, stars, and moon, these ancient African indigenous primordial ancestral peoples were cosmically attuned. So this is how we know that there's 9 days in a week. Now, how do you know what how do you know what you worship? You woke up today thinking today was what is today on the Gregorian calendar? Today is Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cause I'm so detached from it. So Sunday. Okay. So Sunday's the day of Ra. The next day is, which in Latin is Domingo. Domingo in Latin means Domina. Domina means master. Okay. In Latin. Then comes Monday. Monday means Luna. Lunes in Spanish. Monday is Lunes. What day is it? Oh, hoy es lunes, papi, oye, ¿qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es? Es lunes, papi. ¿Qué pasa contigo? ¿No sabes qué día es? Es lunes, today is Monday. Monday in Latin means the moon. Now we go to Tuesday. Tuesday, we go to Rome. The Roman goddess of vegetation is Twi. The Roman goddess Twi is Tuesday. So Twi in Latin becomes Mates. Lunes, Mates. Mates is Mars, Mates. So Mates falls under the planetary of Mars. Next comes Mercury. So we get to, next is Wednesday. And for Wednesday, we go to Norwegian, to the Vikings. So Tuesday is the Roman name, but Wednesday is the Vikings name. So we go to Woden. Wednesday is Woden. Woden becomes Odin. And Odin is Wednesday, and Wednesday in Spanish is Mercury. And Mercury is Mercury. So that Wednesday falls under the planet Mercury. Just all you have to do is break down the etymology and what they have in their historical records. We know what they did they took the days from us. We know what they did. Let me bring this to the people. Let the people decide. Now we have Thursday, because Thursday is still with the Vikings in Norwegia, because Woden has a son named Thor, and Thor becomes Thursday. Thursday is very simple. You just put an O and take the U and make an O, and alter the etymology with the vowels, and you figure out what happened. So Thursday in Spanish is Jueves. Jueves is Jupiter. So Thursday would fall under the planetary rule of Jupiter. And then Friday, we come back to Rome, because Friday is Frigga. Frigga. Just go while I'm talking to you. Just go. Go ahead. You don't have yourself an alternate wireless device. Just go good. Don't take my word for anything. You're supposed to be scholars. Do the research. I mean, how can we have all these great scholars? Ain't nobody figured out they stole time from us. Ain't nobody figured out that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is not right for us. Unless that where our teachers are ruled by the Shamsu sect. I'm a Shamsu. I'm going to lay this on the table for you for free. They're going to charge you $500 for classes to get this information. How am I going to charge you for information that's already yours? So anyway, so Frigga is Friday. Frigga is the Roman goddess of conjunctural merriment. In other words, when they do the orgies and all that fornication, and Frigga had a boyfriend, had a mate or consort named Bacchus. Bacchus. Google it. Google Bacchus. He's the guy in the Fruit of the Looms. He's on the pennies, the Fruit of the Looms, the grapes. The guy with the grapes on his head. He makes the wine. He gets everybody drunk. He starts playing. He got two flutes. He got two flutes like this in Roman mythology. He has two flutes. Him and Frigga's running down the street. Everybody starts taking off their clothes. You know when you get paid, the freaks come out on Friday. You know you're going down there to the clubhouse, make that money rain. You know what you're going to do on Frigga's Day, on them Roman days. You want to act like a Roman. So, and Frigga, Friday, in Latin, Spanish means Viernes. No, where is Viernes? Viernes is Friday, and Viernes is Venus. So just put it all together. All you got to do is put your Latin, applicate your Latin, and it's an original Sanskrit. Not Sanskrit, but it's original etymology. So now you know the days of the week. Saturday, of course, is Saturn, Sabado. So now you know where the names of the days of the week that they gave you. Now the months of the year. What about the months of the year? They got you with January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and so on and so forth. They got you with 12 months. But how can there be 12 months in a year if there's only, how can there be 12 months when we know there's only 10 months in a year? How can the 12th month be called December when all you got to do is go back to your Latin and your Greek again? And you know, Dec in Spanish is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How can they convince you that December is the 12th month and Diez means 10? These are violations that you're supposed to be in tune to recognize at all times. So December is our 12th month, but yet it means 10. So that means Nueve, remember? Nueve means 9, Nove, but it's our 11th month. Octo means 8 because the octopus has 8 arms, and octagon has 8 sides. So octo is the Latin root word for 8. Okay? How can he tell you it's 10 and you're just going to say it's 10? Because he says it's 10, it's 10? Everybody knows it's not the 10th month. Everybody knows that's the 8th month. Because in Latin, the root word is octo. How can it be our 10th month? Because of 2 historical figures. Now we start going into the annals of history. Now you just put it up. You can start applicating your scholarship, your research. You know that July is Julius Caesar, and you know that August is Augustus Caesar. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows black people. Everybody knows that calendar is always designed to subjugate black people's minds, to keep them from recognizing movement through time and space, to becoming a cosmic thought. So now, how did Caesar do it? Now you find out how they took time from us. So you know the days of the week, and you know the months of the year. So we know Janus. Janus is the Roman god. I mean, January is the Roman goddess Janus. Let's break down that. Let's break these months down. Everybody write this down so we ain't never got to go back to this again, because I hate walking these terrestrial planes with this history stuff. You know, because you become Hellenized and lobotomized unless you can balance. I don't have a problem now, but I want to make sure that I make sure information and balance it out. Yes, you can't hear me?
There's we can hear you. There's still the slight static. It's a disruption to the class.
Okay. I don't know what it could be.
Now, if you'd like to leave out and come back, maybe that would help. Then I can go through the months till you come back.
Yes. You want me? Yes. Do that, and I'll come back on another station.
Okay.
Read on another. I just put a bubble underneath, one of the bubble things underneath my computer. How's it sound now?
It's better.
Maybe that might be maybe some type of conductor between the wood and the metal. I don't know. Okay. But how does it sound now, Queen Mother?
It's good. Again, when we pause, then it's fine. But once you get going, it starts. So we'll see what happens this time.
That's why I'm trying to keep this. I'm trying to maintain a pace so I don't go light speed and then nobody understands anything I'm saying.
It's not even you, because I've listened to you. We do the video. It's not you.
Okay, Queen. Yes. Okay.
So we're on month 1, which according to the Rasaurian calendar is Jehuti, and you were speaking of Janus.
Janus, yes.
Janus.
Yes. So the first month of the year, the fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline, the Gregorian calendar is Janus. Janus is the Roman. January is the Roman god Janus. Janus is, you ever see the coin or the commercials, the stock market? Oh, we are Janus. It has 2 heads on it. It's a coin that has 2 heads facing in opposite directions. It's a stock market called Janus. They named it after the Roman god of the first month. And Janus has a mate, and his mate is February, F-E-B-R-I. No, F-E-B-R-E, with a hyphen over the E, February. So February became February. February, the 3rd month on the Roman calendar, was March, which was their war god, which originally was their first month. Janus became the first month when Caesar took over Egypt with Cleopatra, and he altered the Egyptian calendar, the Greco-Roman calendar. He implemented Janus as the first month, in which the Roman consulates and when they took office and so on and so forth. That's all Roman history. I don't even want to get into that. I want to talk about our story. I am not a historian. I am our story. I want to talk about our story. And so the 3rd month would be Mars. Mars has a mate, Abril. Abril was the Roman goddess of vegetation. Abril was the Roman goddess of vegetation. And then there was May. May is the May was the 5th month, and May was masculine and had a mate called Juno. So most people might know Roman history, the god Juno, of fortune and fate and so on and so forth. After Juno, they couldn't name no more. They couldn't name no more months. They only had 10 months. They couldn't even name them. So they rounded out the rest of the names with numbers, Roman numbers. It became septo, octo, nove, and dice. This is where the numbers come from, because they had to keep remembering, because they had bad cases of remembering even to their records on how to keep things in order on a cosmic level. So they mixed the names of the gods with numbers. So now they had 10 months. So now today we have Dice as December. Nove is November. Octo is October. And Sept, which is Septe is September. So we know that the bridge and the gap is there because before September you got August and July, which falls on Augustus Caesar and Julius Caesar. So now I got you there. So now let me put your scholarship to work now. Remember, 754 AUC of Cotita means upon the founding of the city of Rome. But this is 754 BCE. And the Romans didn't take over the world until 189 BCE. So here's 600 years that it was ruled between the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Chaldeans, the Persians. Then you get down to Alexander 323, right? Okay, so now these are called calendar reforms. First calendar reform, 754 BCE AUC, which is Eratosthenes and Aristarchus. Just write it down. Don't even worry about it. You get to it later. Second calendar reform is in the 300s. 303. Alexander 323. Alexander died in India. He gave his kingdoms to his generals. Ptolemy drew the lot for Egypt. So Ptolemy drew the long stick, and he got control of Egypt. Now, second calendar reform is called the Decree of Canopus. 1, 2, and 3. The second calendar, third calendar, and fourth calendar reform is the Decree of Canopus 1, 2, and 3, which is Ptolemy the first, third, and fifth. That's all you got to do. Just put it down like that. You'll get to it. It'll start making sense. You'll be put the pieces together. Now, to give you reference, the Decree of Canopus number 3 is the fragment that the Rosetta Stone came from. It came off of this oblong niche of a stone, in which is written in 3 languages. It's written in Meduneta, it's written in Coptic, and it's written in Greek. And it describes how they maintain a knee on the neck of black people, just like they're doing today. It's called 846, knee on the neck, injured humanity, mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. It began in 754 BCE. All the historical documents begin right here. So this is where they made their move. Who was ruling in Africa at that time? Who was ruling in Africa at that time? It was the Kush kings. Asparta, Pianki, Tahaka, Shibaka, Pianki. Okay, 1000 BCE, the Kush kings ruled, and they ruled upper and lower. The Samatawi, they ruled both lands. Until for 300 years, they ruled both lands. That's when the Greeks came in, 754, bam, 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 right? Because the Greeks and the Libyans, now was the time when the great golden age of Pisces, which is Uncle Set, was transpiring, was turning the ages. And now all the foreigners were saying, well, there's no sense in us fighting each other. We got the prize is Africa. Let's all come together and take over Africa. We can split all Africa up between us. So they came together, and they got they had like the United Nations. It was the United Foreign Nations against Africa, and they took us to court. It's the first kangaroo court because we wasn't even present, and they took us to court, and the charges it's called execution of judgment. Execution of judgment means that there will never be another global Naga presence or rule upon this planet because we ruled this whole planet. Once this planet was under a global Naga rule, it was a global Naga presence. All the architecture, everything on the planet was under our institution. And so when they filed charges against us, they had what you call execution of sentence. They found us guilty, and the verdict was death. The verdict was they sentenced us to injured humanity. Please Google that word, injured humanity, because when you look up it today in the annals of British historical documents, you'll see that they call us the happy children of Africa. Okay, because everybody knows you have to read, so you'll see where we're gonna connect it. But we're called injured humanity. That means that if they was to see a melanated person on any part of this planet, these Caucasians had the right to condition this person and these persons of this family and to place them under mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. In other words, and if and it was legal to do this. This is legal now. So this is in the great golden age of Pisces. So this is 2020 AD on the Gregorian calendar. You count back 2,000 years because each great age is 2,160 years. Remember the phenomenon of precession? There's 12 signs. There's 26,000 years because the Earth rotates on its axis, revolves around the sun, and it's tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes it wobble, and it's 26,000 years, and each sign is 2,160 years. 12 times 2 is 100. 12 times 2 is 24, and 100 is 25. It comes up to 26,000 years. Keep the math, the sacred math, the divine science, the cult of spirituality, in order for this all to make sense. So I'm not speaking for nothing here. So let's put it all together. They found out what made us tick. They made a dossier, just like Trump. They made a dossier. They did the Mueller report. They had a dossier on Trump. Oh man, he gave us the Russians. He gave us this and that. But by the time we saw it, all the information had black lines going through it. It's called redacted. So you're getting the redacted version. The redacted version. None of the information I just told you is in it. Into Humanity's in it, and when you see Into Humanity, they got a picture of some happy children of Africa. What does all this mean? Because you're getting the redacted version, and by the time you see something that's unredacted, it's not making sense. And then there's some guy in the sky called Jesus that you should bow down to, or some other monotheistic or Abrahamic ideology that enslaved your mind. So now we have Indian Humanity. So now they have a legal right to kill black people, and it's called an unbridled license. Just Google the word unbridled, UNBRI, unbridled, DLED, unbridled. And unbridled, as soon as you put it unbridled, watch predictive text in the computer give you what you're looking for. Because they think that you're a theologian. They think that you're an ecclesiastic person because you're supposed to have this knowledge. Because how is it that they can pass down to their children and their descendants how to maintain our mental, physical, spiritual subjugation or keep the 846 mini on the neck? Yet we can't pass down to our children, to our descendants, how to restore our liberation and our immortality. How does this work? How does this spell work? That you don't remember who you are in the morning and you run off to the plantation to serve master, and you come home and you ate his food all day, so now by the time you come home, you're so tired and beat, and you got to take care of kids, and you got to go to sleep, and you wake up, the bell rings, and you're headed back to the plantation, and you just don't know it. And this is going on for 4,000 years. For 4,000 years of all the great teachers of black history, so-called history. We got the Du Bois, we got Garvey, we got Dr. John Henry Clark, we got Dr. Ben, we got all the great divine seer and Francis Cress Wesleyan, all the great Mother Goddess teachers who've been teaching and spreading the great African nature, and yet we haven't made 1 inch of progress. You never ask yourself? You just follow. You never. Why? It's because of time. Because when you woke up this morning, you didn't have the Ibetaru Shabit Temtuaru Pamaat. See what side of I show this side. You didn't have the Ibetaru Shabit Temtuaru Pamaat on your wall. You had the Gregorian calendar on your wall. So you was imprisoned upon this planet. So here's the mathematical equation that everybody needs to know. When you have a Gregorian calendar or any calendar, even if it's a Khemetic calendar of 10 months that has 10 days in a week and 3 weeks in a month, it looks like it's an African calendar. It can grow crops, but in reality, it's used to subjugate you. So these Khemetic people, I presented the calendar to the Khemetic family. They told me I'm crazy. They kicked me out of the Khemetic community. I've been exiled. First of all, I'm from a temple. The temple is called Tesha Pera. I've been in the temple for 60 years. The temple sent me out to put this information out to the family. I get out here, I find out nobody even knows how to tell time. They don't even have no spirituality. They don't even know who the creator is. I asked the Khemetic community who they believe in. They're telling me Amun Ra. Amun Ra is a star date. So just to come out of your mouth with Amun Ra shows me just how unhinged you are. How unhinged, or how much you've been implanted to distract us from finding our way. Because Amen-Ra is a star date. How do I say Amen-Ra is a star date? Because the temple of Luxor in Karnak has an avenue of sphinxes with ram heads on top that's orientated to the spring equinox. And when the sun rose on the spring equinox in the constellation of Aries, because it has ram heads, but Aries is really Amen. And when the sun came into the constellation of Amen, it became Amen-Ra. It's very simple. It's a star date. It's like the Shabaka stone. In the Shabaka stone cosmology, they worship Ptah is the main deity. But we know Ptah cannot be the main deity because Ptah is the second attribute of manifestation around Nebuchadnezzar, and Ptah is the second primordial field force. Ptah represents the strong force, which is turbulence. Ptah represents the door. So how can Ptah be the main deity at that time? It's because it's a star date, as above, so below. Our ancestors were showing us how everything was in a star code. Everything is in a color code. Everything is in a sound code. This is how our spirituality moves, through a frequency. So the Greeks couldn't understand that. And when they did understand it, they said, oh, okay. Then they understood it. So that's when they turned Ptah into Taurus, because in the temple of Menepha, which means the white wall, they found the Shabaka stone. They found the Shabaka papyrus, that was eaten wormed whole. It was rotten. It was falling away. And Shabaka said, "Oh man, whoa, we got to preserve this." So he put it on the Shabaka stone. That's where the Shabaka stone comes from. It used to be on the papyrus paper, but it was so old. It had hundreds of thousands of years written on it. Because this is how many times we've been around this great cycle of the phenomenal precession. We're gonna break down the time cycles and go all the way back 1,000,000 years easily. They got you thinking that our story's 5,000 years old. Got you a little 5,000-year-old box. Everybody knows. Oh, white, even the white. So even the new white, we call white, modern white males today, like Robert Bauval and Graham Hancock and John Anthony West. John Anthony West passed away, but there's still them two. They know that this is all foolishness. They're telling about Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe is 10,000 years old, but yet the Sphinx is on, but Herukuti and the pyramids are only 4,000 years old. How can Göbekli Tepe be 10,000 years old and Herukuti is only 4,000? But we know Herukuti is 2,000 for Pisces or Set, 2,000 for Aries, which is Amen-Ra, 2,000 for Ptah, which is Taurus, 2,000 for Gemini, which is Sba-t, 2,160 years you put on for Cancer, which is Kepra, and now we go back 12,000 years through our phenomenon of precession, and we know that the Sphinx or Herukuti is looking at itself on the spring equinox rise over the horizon, as above, so below. So we know that the Sphinx is 12,000 years old, but we know that 12,000 years ago was an ice age, which means that the polar caps had melted, and the Sphinx would sit down into its little enclosure down there, because the pyramids are up on the plateau. And when you go down into the Sphinx enclosure, that was covered up in water up to the Herukuti's neck, or the Sphinx's neck. So due to paleoclimatology, we know that there was an ice age through the geological remains of the earth and layers of earth crustacean. We know that there was an ice age. So we know that the Sphinx was up to his neck. So unless they had scuba diving equipment built to the Sphinx, it couldn't have been built then. So you have to go back around the phenomenon of precession, 26,000 years, add the 12,000, that's 38,000 years. That writes out the whole story. But we know that it's old, that we've been around this thing over 100, 200, 300, over 500 times or more. So we know the Sphinx is over 250,000 years old when we go into cosmic time, because we know, because of the megalithic architectural monuments around it, the stones, the megalithic stones, and its polygonal designs, we know that its construction was over, and we know because of the way that the stars fall upon these structures that it happened so many 100,000 years ago. But anyways, we're going back to, we talking about the months, we talking about the Aries, And I'm involved. Where did I lose track at here, Queen Mother Goddess?
I got you. It's all right. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we try to bring reason to it so they can understand this. Because it's just the first part of our episodes. We're going to go through
That's
everything.
right.
Just break down the days of the week, the months of the year, to let you know. And we're our Kemetic family who's supposed to be looking out for us. Yet the quintessential essence of our spirituality and what's going to bring us to help us survive this onslaught today. Because they was planning on wiping us out 50 years from now. But everybody's waking up so quickly because of the frequency, because of this golden lotus that's opening, that they dropped the pathogen out here that was designed to kill all of us. But the pathogen, the chemist of the pathogen had the chemistry messed up. Now it's taking all of them out. But because we eat their food, it's taking us out too. So you have to stop eating this food. Because the frequency begins at home with the living. The 5 golden rules of the living to keep your frequency in tune. There's only 5 rules. We don't have a diet. Because of course die is in the word. So why would I have a diet? It dies in the word. They're gonna kill you. What part of diet don't you get? It's a mathematical equation. Somebody called me up today and said, why don't they like me? Why do they want to kill me? This is called inhumanity. For you not to know why they want to kill you, yet they know why they want to kill you, and they know why it's been the law that they're going to kill you, and why it's been the law for 4,000 years. How could something be the 4,000-year story that they know, but you don't know? What are you studying that you don't know what they know? But they know how to take it down to their children. It doesn't. We're living. We got our family members are being taught by fools. And I'm not, I have nothing to bite my tongue about. I respect all my elders. I respect all my Queen Mother Goddesses. I love my Queen Mother Goddess. I love my elders. But I am a Shemtaru. I am a military priest. I'm a military Hemtep. Okay? And I'm here to communicate to you on any level you want. To the kids, to the children, to the teenagers. We got our cosmic Nizaga, Swizaga. We can talk to Bizop, to Tizok. We can talk any way you want to talk. We communicate on any level you want to communicate on. But we will communicate through Maat. And through the laws of Maat is a frequency. It's all a frequency. It's like the Medu method. It's a frequency. Our ruling back on this planet is going to be a frequency. And the frequency begins with what you put in your mouth. The first rule of the living is eat only of the seed. If it doesn't have a seed, don't put it in your mouth. The only thing you put in your mouth that doesn't have a seed is water. Rule number 1. Very simple. You got to be completely gone to fail number 1. Yet you broke rule number 1 early this morning. So this helps you to have your first day. So some people have some of our ancestors in the last 2 ages have lived their whole life and never had their first day. These children today deserve the right to have their first day. So to have your first day is rule number 1 is eat only of the seed. If it doesn't have a seed, don't put it in your mouth. Rule number 2, eat as the table earth, no, I'm sorry. Rule number 1, eat only of the seed. Rule number 2, never eat and drink at the same time. You break that rule immediately. As soon as you put something in your mouth, you're rinsing it down. You gotta rinse. You're eating. You're mixing your solids with your liquids. You can't mix your solids with your liquids because the solids go through your throat, down through your stomach, into the large intestine. And your liquids goes back to the same thing, but it goes to the small intestine. The large intestine goes to your stool, and the small intestine goes to your urine. But on the way down, if you mix them both together, you create an acidic brew. This acidic brew everybody begins to bloat. So everybody gets the big bellies, big nuts hanging down from underneath the chin, losing all the hair, having all these illnesses and sicknesses and pre-existing conditions. It's from the food that you eat. It's not hereditary. If you got cancer, if your brother got cancer, your mother had cancer, you don't get cancer. It's not hereditary. If you get cancer because you ate the same thing she ate or he ate, or if you're eating what they're eating, you're going to get it. But it's not hereditary. So how do you break the vicious cycle? Stop eating whatever he's telling you to eat. Don't eat it. Stop following the herd down there because the herd's going to get slaughtered. And then they're going to feed that herd to the other herd. They're feeding you human beings now. I had the movie back in the 60s called Soylent Green with Charlton Heston. Google Soylent Green. They had this movie. They already knew what they were going to do to you back then. Now they knew what they were going to do to you back then. They've been prepared for you. All you who think that you woke up. Oh, I know what they're going to do to me. Oh, yeah? It's in the toothpaste. It's in the spring water. They got just enough cyanide, not to kill you immediately, but 6 years down the road, they got you. They get you bagged and tagged. And this is what
See, but what's the Charlton Heston movie again?
Soylent. 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 Soylent Green.
Okay.
You never seen it, huh? That's back in the 60s.
1973.
It's called Soylent. It's Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine. Soylent Green. Everybody knows what Soylent Green is. Right now it's Soylent Green time. Stop feeding because now they so I don't want to get back into Soylent, but that's Ancient Humanity. But now let's talk about our divinity. Our divinity begins with the stars and understanding time. We're talking about time, the ancient Asarian Khemetic Lunar Calendar, and the mythological star timeline. We're trying to relate it for you today on this segment of our episodes of Immortality, first frequency right of Teshera, with the great Queen Mother Goddess AstMaatTfNut, and I am your humble servant, Ptah Asar, and we are discussing the Rasaurian solar calendar on a scholastic level. We're introducing how they stole our time, just to get a recap, to reiterate on a recap so that we understand what this little conversation is here, because I'm trying to take you cosmic and to get you into the cosmic level, which we will begin to start on our next episode, our next broadcast. And the Queen Mother will let you know. It might even be tomorrow. We're trying to get you this information as soon as possible, but you have to buy a calendar. If you haven't called the Queen Mother, who is a global distributor, an official global distributor of the ancient Rasaurian Khemetic Lunar Calendar and the Meteorological Star Timeline, she has it right there. Please go to the inscription below and get in contact and hit her link and order your calendar today. So I don't want no donations from me. I don't want a dime from you. All this information I'm giving to you is free because it's your information. I cannot charge you for this. I want you to understand this mathematical equation that your teachers are not telling you. I'm watching the Kemetic community, and I'm watching the televised broadcast, and somebody, if they're televising today, they'll say, welcome to Sunday's Sunday special. We're going to do a Sunday special today. They just Hellenize your mind with Sunday, with a Gregorian calendar, chronological timeline, and you don't understand the damage that that's doing to you. It's called PTSS. This is post-traumatic slave syndrome at its highest, and they know it. Your teacher knew what he just did. And it sets you upon a path of limitations. And now you have to keep paying him every week, every month. You double the prices. It's a drug that never gets you, that never heals you. You get more confused at the end of the day. Because I can tell you right now, none of your teachers will even talk to me. I'd ask them to come to the table so that we can have a think tank. I'm not saying I got all the names right. I got the math right. Maybe one of the names can be altered. Can we talk about this? They won't even sit down with me. All the great teachers, you know the names. I'm not going to mention the names at this particular moment, but I know it's a violation of this New Age order. And I know on my watch, I will correct all violations. So I'm not going to mention their names right now, but you know who they are. You know who they are. There are rules of engagement. They won't engage me because they got Hesses, they got Sakus, they got affirmations, all that hoo, all that old spookism. Ain't nobody listening to that spookism no more. The chantras, all them chantras that don't mean nothing if you don't know the concept of self-creation, if you don't know how to apply the mathematical equation. Oh, I meditate all day. You meditate? What do you meditate on? I meditate on oneness. I meditate on emptiness. I make myself empty. It's the most ridiculous thing. What are you watching? Some kung fu movie? You watching some Bruce Lee kung fu movie back in the 70s? How can you think about emptiness if you don't understand the mathematical equation? Now, if you think about emptiness as a mathematical equation of nothingness, and we know that nothingness is out of the primary ocean of nothingness, and to describe this nothingness is with a mathematical equation, a numerical equation of zero, and inside that zero of nothing is everything, then it'll start making sense. But if you don't know the concept of self-creation, that means you understand that there are subatomic and atomic particles and neutrinos and quarks and atomic energy that's moving around us at all times. You're getting ready to get caught with a bad one. A big asteroid's getting ready to catch you. But if you don't know about astral projection and how to apply it to what this is all about to you and to the cosmic forces and how these cosmic forces are within you and the ancestors are within and without it. You are the ancestors. You are the stars. You're going to become a star. You cannot put all this together properly with mathematics, with the science, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality, with astrology and astronomy. They have absolute accountability and star validation because definitive answers require definitive explanations. They don't need no more foolishness. So proper rules of engagement. They have to engage me. They have to first perform a proper HESI. My students perform HESI. My Sebas and Sba-t perform HESIs every day. Matter of fact, I got a Seba today who's teaching me. Because Seba in Medunetta means student. But Seba also means teacher. Because the student becomes the teacher. Like the son becomes stronger than the father, the daughter becomes stronger than the mother. Just like the creator, Nebuchadnezzar, became stronger than Nu, the primeval ocean. Because inside the primeval ocean, we began with energy, thought, feeling, and non-motion. All the creator did was change it to energy, thought, feeling, and motion. Motion, we went from perpetual continuance to continuous evolution, the expanding universe. And once you begin to comprehend our story on a cosmic level, but I began to break down just what we was doing today and going through the names of the days of the week because we want to bring with you on a layman's term so that I want the family to get the information. I want the family to know how the family who teaches us, our Kemetic community, and I don't even speak about anybody else because no one's even qualified to teach us but the Kemetic community. Because everybody else is monotheistic, has idiomic ideology, which are all based upon the slave master's thing. But here it is, the Kemetic community, who we're supposed to fall, who we're supposed to be able to count on for our spiritual comfort, for our spiritual love. And nobody's talking about time. Nobody's talking about the quintessential essence of our existence. How they stole it, how we're here as individual humanity, mental, physical, spirit. How you woke up today and your child said, "What? Why do they treat me like I'm a slave?" What did you say to your child? Don't worry about it. Tomorrow's Tuesday, tomorrow's Monday. We'll figure it out on Monday. So you're part of the problem. That's called contraband. Contraband is black people conditioning other black people into mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. They don't even have to condition us. They don't even have to whip us with the whips no more. We're whipping our own self. It's called UNP, unnecessary pain and punishment. We fabricate, we go outside and kill each other. We go outside and sell each other drugs. We go outside and we eat the food that's going to kill us. We kill ourselves because we're programmed, we're conditioned. And that's what this is what Indian humanity means when they sentenced us to humanity. Yes, Queen Mother, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. Have you drank some water yet?
I haven't drank the I haven't drank
While you do that, I want to, since you're talking about what people eat, to get back, because you covered, to recap. So the first rule is to eat only of the seed. Second rule, never eat and drink at the same time.
I only got the rule number 2, huh? Boy.
Yes, Eva. So rule number 3.
Thank you, Queen Mother. You know I drift. I'm an old man. I'm almost 66 now.
And you have great points. It was hard to step in and get all of it was relevant, all of it is necessary. So
yeah, thank you. Dua. That's why I need your divine feminine energy here to corral me, to keep me under, because I'm slipping right now. So this is what we have to understand. We don't have a diet. We have a limit. The limit is the key. The stomach is the key to salvation.
And the third rule is,
because the food you eat is like the air you breathe. In with the good, out with the bad. So rule number 3, eat as the table earth prepares the food. So rule number 1 is eat only of the seed. Rule number 2 is never eat and drink at the same time. Rule number 3 is eat as the table earth prepares the food, from the tree, from the vine, or from the ground. It's only coming from 3 places. If you know what other places come from, please tell me. And this means to prepare the food as the table earth. Eat the food as the table earth prepares the food means that that don't overcook your food. Don't cook out the nutrients. Don't overboil it. Please, if you fry anything, don't over fry. Frying is the worst thing you can do. But in the transition state, I'm eating shrimps now. I'm eating seafood. As you know, myself, I do eat seafood now. I recommend those who want to give up the flesh to transition to the seafood to leave the flesh alone. Now, some people's body metabolism, you have to transition. Some people can cold turkey. Most people who are sick and dying will cold turkey, or you will terminate, expire real quickly. But
And
the
the fourth,
rule number 4 is never eat to your fill. Rule number 4 is never eat to your fill, which means don't overeat, don't gut yourself. Save some food for somebody else. You ever notice when you get up at night and you go take that left into the bathroom, you end up taking that right into the kitchen, get that late snack. You can't eat and go to sleep. What thing you do is eat and lay down and go to sleep. It's like when the queen mothers give birth. Often we never lay down to give birth. They lay in the hospital today. They lay you down. You ever tried to move your bowels on the toilet? Try laying down on the bed and moving your bowels. You can't do it. It's gravitationally impossible unless you got diarrhea. Okay? So rule number 4 is um what is rule number 4, Queen Mother?
never eat till you're filled.
Your fill. It's unmaatian. It's unmaatian of you. It's very unmaatian for you. Don't eat to your fill. And then it's going to clog you up. It's going to shut down your system and you're going to go to sleep. You ever notice if you keep eating, you get tired, you got to go to sleep? It shuts your whole body system down, okay? Rule number 5 is fast occasionally. For certain periods of the year, you must refrain from eating to purify, cleanse, and detox the body. Now, mathematically and scientifically, you want to do these things during the Maat, during the solar cycle lunar calendar's seasonal aspects through the seasons, 4 times a year, or you could do it monthly through the lunar cycles, through the full moon cycles. Depends upon how trained you are. For those who are novices or just entering in, I expect or I would ask for you to do this 4 times a month, quarterly, through our season. If you're in Africa, 3 times a month on the seasonal, because there's only 3 seasons in Africa, right? But on the Ipetaru, we have an outer ring which regulates the 4 seasons on the northern southern hemisphere. We have 3 rings for inside of Africa for the 3 seasons. Also, so rule number 5 is to fast occasionally, certain periods of the year. So there's only 5 rules. And this will keep the frequency. This will keep you from being sick. This will preserve your youth so that you only get gray like me. You won't age. And you live out your life to its fullest potential. Instead of under the Gregorian calendar, they stole the star of your birth. So how does this relate to the calendar? Because with that Gregorian, that's the Egyptian calendar. But on the Gregorian lunar cycle calendar, this is where they get you. For those of you who have an eye to see and an ear to hear, is ready to hear the real information, I can break this down now on a mathematical level. If the Kemetic knew this, why would they tell you to use a 30-day calendar? Because anybody who uses a 30-day calendar, every 130 years, I repeat, every 130 years, 1 unearned day is added to a lunar cycle calendar. So you're not going to see it in your lifetime. Neither will your child or your next descendant, or maybe even your third descendant. But the fourth and fifth, 500 years down the line, after one unearned day is added every 130 years, the sun doesn't line up with the spring equinox. And when the sun doesn't line up with the spring equinox, and you plant the seed during the spring, and the crops don't grow because the sun drifted and you planted at the wrong time, then the populations will starve. Hence, what we had talked about today at the beginning, to reiterate, hence calendar reform. This is why calendar reform is so important. This is where they started off. And what happens is they started off in 754 AUC under Eratosthenes Aristarchus' first calendar reform. When you Google it, you'll see that they didn't catch it again until the second calendar reform was in when Ptolemy invaded Egypt, when he invaded Kemet. So that's from 754. You go past the Kush kings down until down to the Babylonians, to the Chaldeans. And of course, the Babylonian king was named Nebuchadnezzar, and his son was Nebuchadnezzar, and that was in 666 BCE using the Gregorian chronological timeline. Then we go back down to, we get up to the Persians and Darius, then there's Darius under Darius. Son of Darius was Xerxes. Then after Xerxes came the Greeks, and then the Greeks Hellenized the world. And as Alexander went around the world to Hellenize the world, to corrupt everything, every doctrine on the planet was corrupted. And he died in India. When he died in India, Ptolemy and his generals, Alexander's generals, drew lots to split up the whole kingdom of the planet. And Ptolemy drew Egypt. So bing, Ptolemy gets to Kemet, and they end up calling him Ptolemy the First, Sotir, Serapi, September, Mary, Amen, because he wanted to be made a god. And they said, he can't make you a god, you born in beta. He killed everybody was. Anyways, his name was Ptolemy the First, Sotir, Serapi, September, Mary, Amen. And he has calendar reform of the Decree of Canopus number 1, which is calendar reform number 2, which is in 301, maybe 299 BCE. Boom. Then comes Ptolemy. Then goes calendar. So from Ptolemy gets to Kemet, and he makes himself a king, a god. All of a sudden, the food's not growing. So he's supposed to be a god. Why ain't the food growing? Ptolemy's asking the people, why isn't the food growing? Because they get kept. Because they're so busy gorging themselves upon Africa and its women and its resources and everything that Africa has. They're getting rich, filthy rich, and they're just each son who's descendant of that king, that foreign king, he's just enjoying himself, and they're just raping our children, raping our land. They're making themselves so rich. And then finally, after 400 years, 500 years, from 754 BCE or AUC down to 2, which is almost 500 years of just gorging, all of a sudden the crops don't grow. Why did it happen? Because the mathematical equation, the spring equinox, the sun drifts so far that when they plant the seed, it wasn't time enough for the crops to grow. Hence the word calendar reform. That's why I want to reiterate to everybody why this is so important. This is how we knew what happened, because if we didn't see the calendar reform, we would have never been able to tell you this right now. We'd still be slaves for another 1,000 years or more. They want it for all eternity. And these black people, black people consider themselves niggas. These niggas still want to worship Jesus. They still want to be slaves for another 10,000 years. So there's nothing really I can do. All I'm here to do is to talk to my Shemsurus, my Nesubitis, my Hemets, my Sba-t, my Munatats, my immortal ones of Maat cherished, the Shemsurus. And I'm here to address the Shemsu sets, to let them know that we are no longer entertaining your violations, whether what teacher he is or what teacher she is. This is nothing personal, nothing gendered about it. If you break the rules, the new age order of the great golden age of Maat Asar and the new age order star gospel of the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar, no matter who you are, you will be held accounted for. If you start your shows off in the Khemetic community talking that foolishness, this is August, January 23rd, you fired. Ptah, Seeker Sah from Teshepara, the Holy House of Ra, is saying, I will address all Kemetic priests, so-called priests, who violate the New Age order of the Great Golden Age of Asar, of the Great Golden Opening of the Golden Lotus, with the Hellenization, with the contraband of conditioning our black people into slavery again. Because obviously they're inputs, obviously they're agents, and very good agents, because everybody loves them. Because they're conditioned, but that love comes from UNP. Unnecessary pain and punishment. So I wanted to break down to the next level so that everybody can understand. They say, wow, he just says that. Why did Ptah just say that? But I just want to, let's break this down for the calendar for those who are who are ready to get this information right now. But we're going to let the Queen Mother speak for a minute, and so that she could reiterate and maybe facilitate me down another path.
Dua Usiba, Ptah Seeker Asar. So now we are going to speak.
I'd like to discuss what is time.
Oh, okay. Sba,
even you can explain that for them, Queen Mother.
Sba, right now we have hit the 2-hour mark.
Oh, we're done already?
We're not done. I'm just saying for the record, we've hit the 2-hour mark.
Oh yeah, we're done then.
And when Brother Crum likes to keep his platform to an hour. So,
yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is, because we got off track, we like an hour behind on months. We just only looked at Jehuti, the first. So I'm going to do this for those who have their calendar, who are not aware, and or just to lead them through this. And for those who will be ordering a calendar, they will know how to view their calendar better with this information and what to expect. And also, there has been more than one request on how to get the calendar. I'm going to cover that as well. And that information also is in the description, the link description. So follow along if you want. The links are in the description. And you can, there's options there to get your calendar. If there's another method you prefer, you can reach out to me and I'll work with you to make sure you get your calendar for sure. Okay. Also, I'm going to share right now, right quick. Now, we all know, those who know, our humble brother Crum, there are on his platform several users of the platform of Crum TV and or Branch of Knowledge. And with that being said, and also how he likes his shows to be an hour at best. So we go over that hour time, and the schedule that I am on and Sba Ptah Seeker Asar does not always coordinate with the other users of Branch of Knowledge and Crum TV, both platforms of our humble brother Crum. So you can always for sure view these calendar study guide specific episodes, this series, on my YouTube channel, which I will share again, but it is also in the description link. You can always view them on my Facebook page, AstMaatTfNut. And those two pages are only going to be about the Rasaurian calendar and guides to use your calendar. And other places, Crum TV, Branch of Knowledge, Joy Allen, that has all kind of other content. So if you only want this type content, the description's in the link. The links are in the description. However, whatever. Moving on, getting back on track. Here we go. So when you have your calendar and or you're receiving your calendar, This is the first month, and it is Jehuti. And this is the Crumb TV edition calendar. And this first month is covering July 25th, which is the first day of the year, which is the Renpet, and goes through August 29th. This hold on, where are we at?
It's a three. Also, it's a three. It's this calendar is a 3-in-1 calendar. So not only do we tell cosmic time, I superimpose the Gregorian calendar right on top of our calendar, because the Gregorian calendar is nothing but a plagiarized version of our African calendar, anyways. So when you look at the calendar and you look at the days of the week, months of the year, you'll see a register that has these shereks in them, and inside the shereks, which are primordial cartouches or shenus, in which the Nasuts and the Hemets wrote their names and royal names inside them. I use them shenus or shereks to denote the Gregorian calendar. So when you see the first sherek, you'll see the month of July. No, yeah, the month of July. You'll see the month of August because it'll be in the month of July. You'll see the month of August on the first month of Jehuti. And each time you see one of them shereks, they will denote the Gregorian calendar. You find out where you are on the Gregorian calendar, and that's where you start yourself up so you can applicate yourself through our cosmic time and regulate yourself on cosmic time and the Gregorian time, because, 9 days in a week, ordinary brother says, listen, man, I get paid on the seventh day. What day is payday? If I got 2 more days, I just want to know what day payday is. I mean, what good is the calendar for anyway? It's going to tell you what time you got to take your child to an appointment, what time you have an appointment, what time you got to go to work. What does it tell? It's not. It doesn't even tell you your birthday. And again, before we close out this show, let me just say that my great elder student, Ramutef Kweb, has restored everybody's natal chart and birth chart back to its cosmic order. Because, like I say, every 130 years, 100 day is a calendar which affects the spring equinox. But the Gregorian calendar itself is a perpetual calendar. Our calendar is perennial. Perennial means it's Latin. All we know is Latin and Greek. Latin word perennial means fixed. It means the star that was in the sky at your birth will be on the sky on your birthday. The Gregorian calendar is perpetual. Perpetual means it's always moving. It's continuous. So, hypothetically speaking, January 1st, 2020 is on a Monday. 2022 is on a Tuesday. 2023 is on a Wednesday. 2024 is on a Thursday. And since that's a leap year, 2025 will be on a Saturday. It even jumps another day. So that means from the day you was born and on the 7th year of your birth, in 7 years, the star that was in the sky at your birth is not there on your birthday. So it's not your birthday. They stole your birthday. They stole your birth star. So if you don't buy the calendar for yourself, buy it as a novelty for your child. And don't put it up on the wall all the way up there. Put it where the child walks. Put it as tall as your child is. Put the calendar there so when they walk by, they can see it. And they can become, they can recollect, they can see it and recognize. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your child. Okay? So this means that now if they stole your birthday, guess what? They stole your sign. Your zodiac sign is not your zodiac sign. Because you think that you're a Leo right now. I was born on July 26th. I thought I was a Leo. I looked in the sky on my birthday. Leo's not even in the sky. Cancer. Kepra's in the sky. Hedokuti is not in the sky. Kepra's in the sky. In Medinetta terms, in our cultural cosmic collective spirituality terms, the constellation of Kepra, which is Leo in Greek terms, is not in the sky. So how can I be born in the sign of Leo? But in 24, and within, today is August. Okay, so now, well, we just entered into sign, supposedly, of Virgo. But now, if you look in the sky now, you'll see Leo coming up. So magnetic north, vertical north, Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees, makes it wobble. Magnetic north and vertical north are not the same. Magnetic north is here. Vertical north would be off of magnetic north. But magnetic north is electromagnetism. So we're following magnetic north. Magnetic north has shifted. The magnetic north is shifted. Please Google it. Google the shifting of magnetic north, and you're gonna see the research that they got. Everybody knows that magnetic north is shifting, and this affects our view and our alignment with the cosmos. So now, and so this is how we know that the sun precesses. The clock goes forward. Clock goes forward to the hours. The hours turn to days. The days turn to weeks. The weeks turns to months. The months turns to year. But as this is spinning this way, the zodiac is precessing. Precess means to go backwards. It precesses. And every 72 years. Every 72 years, the sun precesses 1 degree through the phenomenon of precession, or the precession of the equinox, not the procession. Procession, a band playing down the street, processing. The processes. Okay, we're not processing, we're precessing. And to precess, every 72 years, 1 degree, and that means 72 years. It takes 2,161 years for the sun to precess through one whole sign, or one great age. And 12 great ages is 1 great year, right? 1 great age is 2,160 years. 1 great year is 26,000 years. Okay, so now if the sun is precessing 1 degree every 72 years, this means that our ancestors had to have somebody or a group of Star Watchers perched up on the top of a mountain or wherever for 72 years just to see it move 1 degree. And then the next team came through, because this team already passed away. So there's a whole school of these teachings. And these teachings, now they replaced them, and then for the next 72 years, and then they had to go through this for 26,000 years. How many generations of teachings through our cultural spirituality was maintaining this planet's observance and protection? And now for 26,000 years, it came back again. Somebody said, "Oh, it moved. It moved." You denote a movement. So now another 26,000 years goes by, and they detect another movement. So how many 26,000 year cycles went by before you figured out what really happened on one complete cycle? And then after you figured out what happened on one complete cycle, it took another generation, or a whole another 26,000 years to figure out if that calculation was correct. And then it took another 26,000 years to critique that which the first correction was on the first calculation. So we're talking hundreds of thousands of years in recognizing this phenomenon of precession. So every thought of astrology and astronomy which doesn't have a conversation of precession is a violation. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If your teacher isn't talking about the phenomenon of precession, he or she is violating you, and they need to be held accountable for. If you call me, I'll bring them into the halls of double right, double truth, for the soul is purged of all sins, and where the soul will see the faces of all the Neterus, and must pronounce the Usa Medu Neferekau, Anuka Bekweb, Anuk Perto Tep, I am pure, I come in peace, I come in peace. They have to be held accountable for, and let their heart be weighed into the judgment, because I have mothers crying, I have babies dying, and I have stars aligning, and I have no more time for this foolishness. I got kicked out the Kemetic community because I wanted to present to the people a mathematical equation of 9 of 36 days in a week, which is their 36 deacons. They know there's 36 deacons, so how can it not be 36 days in a week, in a month? 36 days in a month. I'm sorry. How can it not be? It's 4 weeks in a month. There's 9 days in a week. There's 36 days in a month. There's 10 months in a year. That's 360. There's only 360 days in a year because it's 360 degrees in a circle. So what about these 5 extra days? How did the 5, we're the 5 1/4 days because it's 365 1/4 days, right? Under a 24-hour cycle. But we're talking a 24-hour and 35-minute cycle on the first rotation of the Earth. So now we got to go back to this mathematical equation and this scientific understanding. The scientific data, this mathematical equation has to equate to our cultural spirituality. So we have to triangulate it. So if they're not approaching it in this way, it's a violation. Plain and simple. Violation. We have no time to entertain it. Violation. Because now somebody's mind is going to get corrupted. It's going to suffer from the paralysis of analysis. They're going to set in the implant, and then they're going to crack the code, and they're going to place the redaction. Everything goes back to being redacted again. So we have to be able to understand what's going on, and without understanding how to tell time. We all know we're running over. We're going to run through this quickly. Time is the movement or measurement of the light through the void of deep dark cold space from one point or distance to another. Speed 198,000 miles per second. Light is the absence of darkness, and darkness is the absence of light. Light is the giver of Ankh, life, being to all things upon the terrestrial plane within the atomic domain. Ankh life is the consciousness and awareness of being. Ankh life can only be found in 3 forms: solids, liquids, and gases. Matter, the elements, the neteru, the gods and goddesses. Nature. However, light, atomic energy, Kepler, the hydrogen atom, the outer verse, is not the Zep-Tepi, the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe. Light has a mirrored reflection, which is radiation. Radiation is the cosmic egg. Radiation is the self-created one, round of a Teshuvah. And I just wanted to break that down to you as in primordial temple discipline. And in shortly closing out this presentation, I would like to finish with a poem. And it says, do you know what it feels like to be an uncrowned Nasut, Hemet, king and queen, lacking honor, a crown, a throne, a Merku, a solar lunar calendar, and just about everything? Well, let me tell you of this story, our story, of our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors in their glory. Those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. Those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. From diamonds and pearls and emeralds and all sorts of precious things. Everyday trinkets for those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. Everyday trinkets for those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. But without your past, you can only live life in half. Half man, half woman, half beast, half slave. And this trend of thought is all that you have sought, all that you have bought, without knowledge of yesterday. Without knowledge of yesterday. Dua. We'll be back next time with the Queen Mother Goddess. I'm going to let the Queen Mother Goddess tell you, but we're going to finish up breaking down the rest of the month and gravitate everybody who has bought a calendar to how to understand and to interpret the calendar in a natural or natural way. So I'm going to throw this back to the Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut. Dua, Sba-t. Oh. None of that.
Oh, Sba.
That was only 1 month. We spent 2 hours on 1 month. You're going to have to get me together. I waste that. That was a lot of time. Go ahead, Queen Mother. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was more than a month. It's all necessary. I'm just sharing this information. This is month 3.
Yes, that's so back. The first month before that was Renanut. Renanut. The first month is Jehuti. The second month is Renunet. Ren and Nut. So Ren means name, and Nut means the sky. So the month of Renunet, flash it back one time to the first month, next month to Renunet, right there. Renunet, her name is Ren. See the mouth and that water sign, and then N, the next water sign, then it goes to the right, top right, we're reading it from left to right, top to bottom, and the bottom left register. That side, we're reading the bottom left register in front of the mother goddess. That Medunetta there is a mouth with the water sign under it means Ren. Ren means name. Underneath the N is another water sign. Ren, N, and then top is a base, and underneath the base is the T. On the right hand side, top right going down, top left going down, and that's Ren and Newt. Her names mean in the name of Newt. Newt is the sky. And the name, so she's the goddess, the queen mother goddess who presides over the childbirth. It's a month of childbirthing and a month in which she is the goddess who gives you your name. Her name is Renanut. She gives you your name under the sky and above the earth. It is her who ordains the names within the family, and her name is Renanut. And if her name means Ren, which means name, and then back part of it is Nut, which means the sky, it's obviously the Medunetta is telling you that she is the mother goddess who gives the name to the child at the time of the birthing. And then on the right side is an obelisk or a tekken, and on the tekken it says Nepanetta, and underneath the axe in the Nepa sign, there is Neb with the T. That's on the right side. We're reading right side to the obelisk from top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom in Medunetta. And underneath it says Neb with the T, meaning feminine. So it's Nept means the queen. It means the great mother goddess, the great divine mother goddess. And there's her name again, Renanut. And then there's a seated figure of a goddess, and that's the determinative, which tells you what the with the alphabetical symbolism in front of it is saying. That's how we know what it's saying. And then underneath that, in the blue square, is the season of Shemu. And on the season of Shemu, there's another square, another blue square. And in that blue square, it has the month. It says month, 2 strokes is 2. So she's the goddess of the second month. Next slide. For those in the Medunetta can read quick enough, but we just move this along, even though it's 22 minutes into the 2 hours point, with 2 hours and 20 minutes. You want to continue, Queen Mother? I go as far as long as you want me to go.
He'll say, okay, hold up. So as I already mentioned, we are not only on my platform. So
right.
So this is what I'm gonna share with everybody. Because we're gonna leave this right here till next time. All right, so I'm going to if you want to stay current with the series, you can go to my YouTube channel, and this video will post there later. So all the videos just for the Rasaurian calendar study will be here. And this is my YouTube channel, AstMaatTfNut. And or also you can see this series on my Facebook page. And it is AstMaatTfNut. And it is pictured like this. So when you are there, this is what you'll see. Not these messages right here, but this is my AstMaatTfNut page, and only videos for the Rasaurian calendar and or the study of it will be on this page. Also, there's been question about where to purchase the calendar, and you can purchase the calendar here on my Etsy page. And it is called Precious Immortality. Oh, I got the wrong one.
The precious treasure. The precious treasure.
Yeah. Hold on. This is the wrong screen. Hold on, y'all. Okay, here it is. Okay. Yeah, it's called Precious Immortality. That is the name of the Etsy page, which you see.
Oh, here. Precious Immortality. Okay, I see. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And here in the right hand corner, you'll see me with Sba, Ptah, Seeker, Asar, and you're definitely on the right page. And what you'll also see here is the calendar.
Yes, which will come which you'll also be adding a audio CD copy of the calendar on a CD plus a PDF file copy of my book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ. If you purchase it now with the Queen Mother, I will add in my book a PDF file of The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, a journey of 59 plus 21 0, because she is now, the Queen Mother Goddess is now an official global distributor of the Ancient Rasaurian Khemetic Calendar and the Methodological Star Timeline. So not only will you receive a hard copy of the calendar, you will also receive one CD audio recording of the translations and the breakdown of the dynamics and the constructs of Ipetru Shabitem Tuaru Pamaat Ancient Rasaurian Khemetic Lunar Calendar. But also, you receive a PDF file copy of my book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, a journey of 59 plus 21 zeros, all for $25. So order your calendar today with the Queen Mother.
Yes.
So that you may embrace the precious treasure, which is immortality. And immortality is your divine birthright.
Yep, so that's the Etsy page. Again, the name of it is Precious Immortality. And I've shared, that looks like everything. So yeah, we're going to be back to get some more detail and study in on this calendar. And the requests that I've received so far, I am filling those requests at this time. And so I've been multitasking behind the scenes, making sure I get the calendars out to them. Because not everyone orders on Etsy, which is what I was always going to say. Also going to say, you can use CashApp to order your calendar with me, and or PayPal, Apple Pay, Zelle. There's all types of payment methods available. So if there is a payment method you would like that you have not seen as an option, just contact me. My phone number, if you want to talk to me, is in the description link as well. You can message me on Facebook. I make myself available, so I don't see a reason why you do not get your calendar. I'm going to want to make sure it happens. I'm doing my best to make sure you get your calendar. Let's see here. Making sure I covered everything, and I did. So I'm going to close out myself, and once more, gratitude to my humble brother Crumb. We are streaming to 2 of his platforms today, and we are streaming to 3 of mine as well. We will see you all in a few days. We have a lot to discuss, so we will be back soon. And I want to appreciate Dua, Masiba, Ptah, Secret Sar for all of his energy, effort, all of himself that he makes available to work with me to make sure that we can bring this information to you. And Siba, Ptah, Secret Sar, if you would, close out the show, speak to everyone.
Yes.
And we'll see you all next time.
Yes, do I. And also for those of you in Canada, we have a special distributor in Canada. His name is Duncan G. And also don't forget, AstMaatTfNut does the star readings. He does your natal charts. He can return you back to the star of your birth and the star and a constellation of your birth. So make sure you contact AstMaatTfNut. And also in Canada, we have a global distributor there. His name is Duncan G. And I'd like to close out the show in the words of our paternal father, Asar Unefa Kentiamenti, when he says, within the whole of the universe, nothing is ever added and nothing is ever lost. Nabu and Tep Yehuti Sashat, all things in Sashat in Yehuti's time. Panata Abu Pamaat, Uncle Jet, Uncle Yasanev, Ubenefi Kia Panabu Maati, rising always in divine excellence with Maat every day, all day. This is Ptah Sikasar and the Queen and the Great Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut, saying Atura Hotep.